Hey everyone, welcome back to Save the Pumpkins podcast. I'm your host, Amy,
And this is Shane.
and we are going to be talking about something that
2023's Never Been Christ. Just premiered last night, right?
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
I gotta take a deep breath here because I have some things to get off of my chest.
Wait, say who's in it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, what? So it's from 2023. I think we said it's starring Pascal Lamothe as Liz, Janel Parrish as Naomi, and good old Tyler Hynes as the titular Chris character.
Did I bring my tissues?
So, I want to start off by saying something that doesn't have anything to do with the movie, but it does have to do with the watching experience. Peacock, Hallmark, whoever is responsible for the number of ads that are on ad-free Peacock, which I understand Peacock can only control their things. They don't own Hallmark, I don't believe. So we watched it live as it was happening, the premiere, in order to get this episode out so people could, hear what we think about something that's very modern, very recent. It's an hour and 25 minutes long-ish, but they made that into a 2-hour time slot. So you can do the math on the 35 minutes of ads.
Well, I know that your criticism is focused.
It's not my only criticism
that,
of Never Been Christ, but it made the watching experience painful.
Okay,
Like,
well, let me start out by
painful.
saying that Tyler Hynes, of course, everybody probably already knows, is one of my favorites. But I was also very excited to be a part of something that Janel Parrish was going to be involved with. And for all of you who know, Janel Parrish was from the series a while back called Pretty Little Liars.
Is it a while back? When did it end?
Oh,
was it that long ago?
It's been a while.
And I think I said this on another, because you brought somebody else up from Pretty Little Liars on the podcast. Dopest theme song that's ever existed. That Pretty Little Liars theme song is the best.
And I really liked Janelle's character in Pretty Little Liars,
cool.
so I was really excited. And honestly, Liz's character,
Pascal Lamothe.
Pascal,
Yeah.
I thought she did a good job.
She's excellent. Hold on. 2 of the 3 are fantastic. But let's start with the positive. You like to do the physical thing, but I'll take over this time and do it. All 3, Tyler Hynes, Pascal Lamothe, Janel Parrish, in my opinion, are ridiculously handsome or drop dead gorgeous. All 3. So we talk about how we talked about in a previous episode about how if the people aren't attractive that are in it to you, not attractive generically, but to you, like whatever you think is attractive, then it's not going to work for you. That's not this movie's problem. Everybody thinks Tyler Hynes is a good-looking guy, and the 2 girls are beautiful, like ridiculously beautiful. And I think everybody sort of knows Janel Parrish. I don't know. I'd never heard of Pascal Lamothe. No disrespect. I just never heard. She's beautiful. She might be the most beautiful one in the film. She's beautiful.
Well, okay, so
and both girls, fantastic actresses, do a very good job in the film.
yes.
Can we start with the movie now?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
So the one thing that I'm going to say, and probably will be quiet probably for the rest of this podcast.
No, I'm not going to do that. Don't be that way. I was shocked at
okay,
this
so
movie.
the focus you get from the beginning, is that it's about Liz and Naomi's character. And like Tyler Hynes' characters, I felt
being
like
injected into the story. Yeah.
Right. But I wanted to say nobody puts baby in the corner. We don't put Tyler Hynes in as the secondary character on anything.
Fair.
But as I was watching this movie, he could have stayed in the corner, and he should have stayed in the corner, because I cannot believe that I'm saying, Tyler, what happened here, buddy?
I watched it, and from the previews, because there's something to be said for expectations, right? when you watch a trailer, when you learn that something is happening, or when you hear that there's a movie called Never Been Kissed, a play on Never Been Kissed, obviously, you think, oh, and then you see the preview and it's total comedy. You think, well, this will be great. They're going to do what they did with the Three Wise Men and the Baby or whatever. They're going to let Tyler Hynes just kind of be funny, sort of be himself, because he's good at that, right? The two girls they're giving him good, strong, opposite female leads. All you have to do is don't screw the writing of the characters up. That's all you have to do. These stars will carry you home. All the secondary characters can't be terrible. We'll get there. But don't screw the writing up, and everything will be fine. The trailer looks sort of like, oh, kind of funny, right? A little comedy thrown in there, whatever. And we start out positively enough. We start out with Naomi and Liz, and they have an app called Best Pal,
like a friendship,
not with an S. Best Pal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not plural.
That was not plural. That was a funny moment that Liz had in it, that Pascal Lamothe had in it. It was a good. These actors have good comic timing when they're not given hot garbage to work with in a script. So we start out, they're best friends. They one of them, you learn a little bit later, one of them kind of came up with the idea for the company, and the other one sort of kind of tagged along a little bit. We'll get there. That's a crux of the story. But they have this app. It's a dating app, essentially. It's called Best Pal. I don't really know what Best Pal. I think that they don't really explain why you would call a dating app Best Pal, but whatever.
Well, no, I think they did. They said that you're looking for, basically, in a companion, your best friend.
And they did that because they want you to know that these two girls, Liz and Naomi, are best friends. They have been best friends forever. And they decide they're trying to get funding for their app to take it bigger, make it a bigger deal. And people are like, a little soft, a little sour on the idea of
and let's table it till next year because it's coming close to the
because we don't know about
holidays.
that. There's other dating apps. We don't really know what this is doing that's different or whatever. And Liz and Naomi are meeting with someone at the beginning of it. We're not going to spoil this movie. They're meeting with someone at the beginning, and she's like, yeah, let's table it, like you said, till next year. And they both walk away, and they say, hey, you know what? Let's go to our hometowns. They both have issues with their mothers, and they sort of challenge each other to deal with their, what was the word how did they say it? To deal with the issues with their mother, to handle it. What did they said it in a certain way though, and I'm not going to remember it. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so we find out that Naomi has boundary issues with her mom.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
And then Liz's mom just doesn't. Liz feels like her mom just
setting boundaries.
Doesn't want to have anything to do with her.
But so they decided that they would go home instead of Hawaii. I think is where they had said they had gone previous. A little bit of what was the Four Christmases or whatever, where they they decided not to go. I'm just going to bring up better movies throughout this discussion. So they decided to go to their hometown. I don't remember the name of their hometown. It doesn't make any difference. So they decided to go to their hometown. They live right next door to each other. Cute little joke at the beginning.
Weston.
Sure. So they decided to go to their hometown and spend time with their mothers individually. But Liz is going to spend the night with Naomi and her mother at their place. And they get home, and they immediately have sort of issues with their moms that they're trying to deal with. Looks like Naomi's mom is a little bit of a little clingy. I think the dad had passed away. No, I don't think anything. She told Tyler Hynes at one point, my dad passed away, and he was like, I don't know how I missed that. Yeah, we know. So, Liz,
wait, you're missing something.
I haven't done anything yet. What have I missed that I haven't
Well,
done?
when they arrive at the airport at home and they're like getting themselves ready, they say that they wanted to go. They went to like some.
Just a little throwaway where they're like, I wonder if.
Well, they went to like go get coffee or something, and when they went into the coffee shop or the pastry shop, and she's eating the cupcake. That's the first encounter because they say before they leave the airport, I wonder if we'll run into anybody.
Yeah, they
that
said
we
that,
know.
and then they ran into him. Yeah, you're right. They run into this guy that they both had a crush on in high school, named Chris, and a hockey player. They're going for, well, not going for. They say it flat out. They were, and I want to make sure that you know what these girls look like. And I know people can change. Is there any way in the world either of these two girls were the nerds that played Everscape in high school?
I mean,
No,
I say
sorry.
that anything's possible,
Sorry, not buying it. That was not where you should have gone with
Okay.
that story. First mistake.
No. However, if you
Mm-mm.
remember in the at some point during the movie, they say that Liz's character studied computer science with a
So,
minor in
yeah.
business, and excuse me, did I say that? That was
No,
Liz.
you were right. Yeah,
Naomi
computer
was
science major.
marketing
Yeah,
with a minor in Spanish.
yeah.
So you kind of get the impression that,
Well, bookworms, but there's no way.
Liz is a little
I'm
bit of a
sorry.
computer science.
I'm sorry. That no.
I mean, that went over my head. I don't even think that really plays a.
It doesn't make any difference. So anyway, you're right. They meet Chris, and he's Tyler Hynes plays this character. I don't know if Tyler Hynes is playing him a certain way or if he's written. We'll have to get into it right now because you brought him up. So let's talk about him. I don't know if he was written this way or if Tyler Hynes is playing him this way. Whichever it is, blame lies there. Wherever it is, whether it's Tyler Hynes doing a performance, which is wretched, terrible, or if he's just doing what was on paper and following directions to play him a certain way.
The only thing that gets me through this is thinking that this character was written for somebody else, and for some strange reason that actor got sick or couldn't perform the duties, and he came in at the last minute.
It's so awkward. It's so weird. Like they were okay. Anyway, so they run into him a little bit, and he's like, why don't you come to my house for a party or whatever? And he's being typical Tyler Hynes, like Mr. Cool Guy with his little bracelets and his little side Nathan Fillion fan club, his little side glance thing he does. He's being Mr. Tyler Hynes, so that's great, whatever. And they're like, yeah, maybe we'll go to your party at your house. And he's like, yeah, just come on or whatever. And they say, okay.
Wait, is it a party at his house? Or
Yeah, it's his joint.
at the bar?
It's his. No. They get there.
Okay.
Actually, I think they see him at a bar first with the other popular kids from school, the Jingle Ball prom queen, a cheerleader, and like a football player. And Tyler Hynes looks like a lot of things, but he doesn't look like a football player. Whatever. None of these people look like the things that they were. I get it. People can change. But anyway, they see all of them at. They get the Christmas tree sweaters from her mother, from Naomi's mother, and they wear those, and then they're ashamed of them, so they cover it up, right? Because they're terrible. They're like tacky sweaters. And they see Tyler Hynes at the bar, and he invites him to come sit down with all the old high school friends. And the old high school friends are being very cool. They're like, yeah, you guys were always the popular ones. And Naomi and Liz are like, what? We were nerds. You guys were the popular ones. And it was just a real weird, they didn't establish it properly. Like, okay, so who was who? I get it that both of you thought different things, but who was it doesn't matter what you think. There was a popular crowd in your school, and it wasn't a matter of perception. There just was. Like in my high school, as well as yours, there were popular kids when we went to high school. And it wasn't my perception. They were popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my case, I wasn't unpopular, but I was not the jock, nerd, super popular kid in school. It isn't a matter of perception. It's a fact. Like I just wasn't. So they don't establish that very well. And I think at that bar, Tyler Hynes says, come over to my house. We're going to have a thing, right? So they show up, they overdress, a little funny, but they don't ever make anything out of that. It's a throwaway line. It's just weird, but whatever. They go in, and he spends some time talking to each one of them separately. The thing you're waiting for, the ball to drop and this one, the shoe to drop is, okay, which one of them is he going to hook up with, right? Because they both had a crush on him. Who's he hooking up with? He spends some time separately with them, but you don't really get an idea. And this is where the first warnings happen. He picks up a book about Great Gatsby. Or no, it is Great Gatsby. And he starts talking to Liz about it a little bit. And did you not get the impression that he was going to eventually say, because he says he went to the Marines and he got out of the Marines and he doesn't know kind of who he is anymore, right? He seems that there was, like high school he was a different person then, but he doesn't convey that in any way that's meaningful or that makes any sense. And I kept thinking, well, oh, wait a minute. He's insinuating that he's different now. I remember I looked at you and I said, is he gay? Are we going to find out he's gay? That'll be like a kind of a...
Yeah, or I was thinking like some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder or
Yeah,
something.
which, I mean, and anybody listens to this, we're not comparing gay people to PTSD. That's not what we meant by that. It's the way that they're insinuating he's different than the jock, Studley football player that you saw in high school. So I'm like, oh my gosh, is he going to be gay? And then they're both of them are kind of fawning all over him, but it ain't going to work. I was like, that'll be kind of neat. Like, not neat that he's gay. I couldn't care less whether couldn't possibly care less whether he would be gay or straight in the movie in any way. But at least that's an interesting way to take it, right? And I've never seen Tyler Hynes play a gay character. Not that you couldn't. He's an actor. He do whatever he wants. But then you looked at me and said the smart thing. What'd you say? He's not going to play a gay character. Tyler Hynes is too straight.
I think his fan following would be...
No, you think so? Yeah,
they would get some
I
pretty
can't comment on that.
hateful mail.
But anyway, like he was looking confused. He had the look of someone that was trying to figure things out, but not in a way that's sympathetic, like a straight man trying to figure out if he is gay. Like you'd be like, oh my gosh, I figure out who you are. You know what I mean? Like it was creepy. He had a look like he was building a bomb.
I know, but I think you were getting that impression is because he was kind of leading both of these girls on to a certain extent, but like in a friendly kind of way, one of them.
So you thought the same thing I did, in that then one of them won't wind up with him. Something's going to happen.
But honestly, it didn't look like he was going towards one, even as the movie progressed and he did pick one, it still didn't seem completely...
He picked one. Can you believe that? He picked one. I was, when that scene happened, I was like, oh yeah? Not that he picked, I mean, I guess we could spoil it. It doesn't really matter. I just don't have anything nice to say about it. So I was going to say no one should watch it anyway, but everybody should watch it, make up their own minds. I don't like telling anybody what they can and can't watch. But they go ice skating. Right? I don't want to spoil it, but we kind of are leading towards a direction. We have to spoil it a little bit to talk about how terrible it was. So they go ice skating, and Liz like hurts her leg or whatever. She's a good skater, but hurts her leg, whatever. And she sits down. Each of the girls are like, no, you go skate. I'll be fine or whatever. Because at one point, Naomi, who can't skate, was like, no, you go skate with him. And he skates with Liz for a minute, and then Liz hurts her leg. And she sits down and is like, why don't you go skate with Naomi? And he's like, okay. So he goes and skates with her. And 2 seconds before, Liz had a dream that she was kissing him. Right? Mm-hmm. And then she hurt her leg. It was a dream. And then you and I both, when he started kissing Naomi, I was like, oh, well, this is just a dream too. Nope. Like he was kissing her because he was kissing her. They picked together Naomi. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of weird because I didn't want them to go the whole, are the best friends going to have a breakup because they both want the guy? That's so trite and so predictable and dumb. And I was like, oh, don't go that route. And they kind of didn't because, Liz, as it turns out, has got some things to figure out on her own. She's got this company and she's always done things. Turns out, she got into Stanford. But she told her best friend she didn't because she didn't want her to be alone. But she resented her for it a bit. And I was like, oh, okay. You're trying to handle multiple situations here. And then there's this goofy subplot where Tyler Hynes' character, Chris, is lying about being a vegan. And you're looking at me right now with smiling face. It was the dumbest thing. So he goes, yeah, I'm a vegan. Everything in this restaurant is vegan. We're here or whatever. And then Liz, who's not dating him, they only dated Naomi and Chris for 3 days. Liz catches him eating I don't know what it was.
Lox.
I don't even know what that is.
The Jewish, they were celebrating Hanukkah, and
what is it? Is it? It's a meat, or it's
a
not
fish.
kosher? It doesn't
It's a
mean
lock.
It's fish. Okay,
Yeah.
it's kosher, so it's fish. And she catches him, and she's like, she tells Naomi, I think your man's lying about being a vegan. Which, for starters, what was the insinuation? If he's lying about being a vegan, he'd lie to you about other things? That's stupid, if that was the insinuation. And I don't know if they were going for that she was trying to protect Naomi, or if they wanted you, the viewer, to think that she was being jealous, and that Naomi would know that she was trying to be, petty and get her to dump Chris because she couldn't have him. There were so many directions they could have been trying to get you to believe with the whole vegan subplot, and none of them were fleshed out well, that I finally, and every time Tyler Hynes would take like a bite of the food or whatever, he would take it and he would, no one's going to be able to see me do this. He would go, oh, he would lean back in this gross, describe it, please, because I can't.
It's very disturbing.
It was weird, right? It was awkward.
Like I said, did anybody bring the tissues? Because I have been so disappointed after seeing this movie.
Later on, they go to I got to get this out, and then I'll maybe calm down a little bit about it. They go to a restaurant where Tyler Hynes tells Naomi, just the two of them, and because the friends start to have a little bit of problems and maybe decide that they've been tethered to each other for a little too long, which is a fine enough storyline, but you clouded it with so much horrible writing, and it lacked any structure. But anyway, they go to a restaurant, Naomi and Chris, and Chris says, cards on the table, because Tyler Hynes got cards on the table now. I don't want this to end. You got to leave in 3 days, and I don't want this to end. Cards on the table. Cards on the table. Cards on the table.
I know.
Anyway, so he goes. So I know you don't want me to rant about it anymore, but so he goes. Maybe you could move back here. And Naomi, who, as an adult, when her mother has a problem with her and she has a problem, she gets up and runs away from it, like physically runs away with it, because it's terrible. Like, I don't like that character. Anyway, so she gets up and goes to the bathroom and calls Liz, who she's mad at. But she calls Liz and is like, Liz, I need you to answer the phone. You're my best friend. He's just dropped kind of a bombshell on me about he wants me to maybe move back here to my hometown. I don't really want to do that. I need you to talk to me. And she goes back and she sees him across the way erotically eating another piece of meat. So now she knows he's lied about being a vegan. And I'm sitting here watching this movie and I'm thinking, along with the horridly obnoxious 35 minutes of commercials, I just want it to end. I need it to go away. There's no satisfying ending. Spoiler, they didn't give you one. It wasn't satisfying. It was stupid. And what was the pitch in the meeting to make this movie? Who wrote it? Who's responsible?
I thought, just to kind of give a little bit of positivity into this episode, I thought the relationship between the two girls was sweet. I think it exemplified when a girl meets a really good friend and they have that bond, and so it's carried over into bigger things in life. Whether you stay on the similar path in like a career or you have babies at the same time. Not that's not what I'm saying happened here, but their friendship kind of was along that lines. I think that they did get off a little bit track when Tyler Hynes was introduced, which honestly, if they just would have left him out completely.
Do you hear what you just said? If they had left, you said it at the beginning, but I'm just going to help you with it. I'm going to repeat it and accentuate it for you. If they had left Tyler Hynes out of a Hallmark movie, it would have been better.
I mean, he's nice to look at. So if you want to,
Well, no, you're right. I'm agreeing with you. I was
but
just
it did kind of like change a little bit for me.
and there
But
were
if they would have just left him out, then I think they could have formulated some sort of Christmas based on this, the best friends having been best friends and doing everything together for so long, and now there's that conflict of wanting to break free. I think they could have just run with that.
they could have. Friendship can be done well in a movie, and we discovered that with Field Day. You can do friendship in a movie to the point where I wish you didn't have a romance in it. Like I just want to see the friendship. That's a good story's a good story. It doesn't make any difference if it's a
Maybe
love
they
story
thought
or
that
not.
that wasn't going to be able to get off
So
off the
I have to
ground,
mention
and they
this.
had to bring him into it.
Yeah, probably. I have to mention this, and I'm not mentioning it to bring up the actress. In fact, I won't even bring up her name. I've got it, but I'm not going to bring it up. There were a couple performances in it where, like, Liz goes home and she's Jewish. They got a menorah. They're celebrating Hanukkah. I was a little confused about why they kept bringing it up. That anyway, it doesn't matter. Her mother, the actress that plays her mother, is probably a fine actress. Don't know. The way the character was played, again, or written, I'm going to call it writing because I don't believe Tyler Hynes and this woman got together, prepared notes, and determined that they would have a bad acting day. Months, however long it took them to film it. The woman that played her mother, Mimi, I think is the character's name. It's her mom. It was unlikable. Like, she was angry with her daughter to a fault, to the point where I kept thinking to myself, you're mad at her because she wouldn't fit in a Christmas card, or because you left a blank space for her to fit in a Christmas card, and she's mad with you that you didn't get pictures that you couldn't possibly have had. You're both kind of nasty and hateful to each other. And it's not a matter of me saying, not understanding that parents and children don't always get along or whatever, especially when they get a little bit older. It was just the most, I wondered, had the people that written this ever interacted with other human beings to know how they act. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I just mean that's like step one. How do people talk? Well, that's how you should write dialogue. I legit, are you ready? We can be done. What's your number?
Yeah, I would probably say this was a 2.5.
If I give it that high, it would be about like that, and I'm doing that because I think the the ladies are doing what they can. I like the
I don't think that Janel Parrish was given a role that could demonstrate her acting abilities, because like I said in Pretty Little Liars, she did well, which could be the writers like you're talking about, but I thought that this was a down slope.
I want to
for
see
her.
Pascal Lamothe and other things. I think she's good. You liked her as well, Liz.
Oh,
she's good.
Yeah,
I want to see her in other things. I need her to get another shot.
I would say she was probably the best character in this one for me.
Yeah, she got a little bit weird in a couple of spots. She was arguing with her mother about things. I was like, why are you mad at this woman that could not have, like, the mother was the character. The character, her mother, was terrible. But, like, why are you mad at her about that thing of all the things to be mad? But yeah, I want to see Pascal Lamothe and other things. Oh, Janel Parrish was fine. Story was awful, and I don't know what to say. If I gave it a 2.5, it would be.
Well, and I think that you're giving.
I want you to keep in mind, we gave Autumn Harvest better reviews than that.
Okay, but hold on,
and it deserves them.
I think the reason why you're not giving a higher score is for different reasons than me. I just had expectations going into it because it is Tyler Hynes, it is Janel Parrish. But I don't think that the story related to just the friends was a bad story. I just think that if they would have, like I said, left out Tyler and kind of, focused a little bit more on that and made that conflict, become resolved and keep a boy out of it completely, it would have been a better movie. But I see that there always has to be some sort of, I guess, love triangle related
Yeah, we
to
talked
these
about that
Hallmark
in Field Day a
movies.
little bit. I don't think I don't have a problem with, obviously, Field Day was my favorite movie that I've seen so far this year. I don't have a problem with the friendship being a central part of it. And the first little bit, when they looked like, a little comedy back and forth, I thought they were really, in fact, I think I looked at you, in fact, and said, oh, they're really cute together. They're funny. Their friendship is really funny. And then they just manufactured something to come in between it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of taking at least the generic Hallmark route of making that be a guy, it wasn't really. It was the fact that they were too kind of difficult to get along with people when you came right down to it. They both felt a certain way that they weren't being honest about, and then I will spoil a little bit of it. They decided at the end, yeah, but that's okay. If we don't, if we're gonna not get along, let's at least figure out a way to do it as friends. I think I'm gonna end it on that.
Yeah, I think it's time to end this just completely anyway.
All right, you have anything else you want to talk about in this one? I'm done.
Nope, just it seems like, being their second episode in, that it's not positive with our Christmas season, but hang with us because it can only get better. Remember, do something that makes you happy today.